Ya ayyuhal insan, O mankind, ما غرك بربك الكريم. What is there that has caused you to be deceived about your ever generous Lord? How can you be deceived? What can possibly change this reality that all of us know? The only way to attain tranquility is through the worship of Allah, is by turning to Allah, is by making Allah the ultimate goal and destination. We all know this. Then why is it that we turn away from this path? Why is it that this world can seduce us away from this path? Oh mankind, what is there that has caused you to be deceived about your Lord? Has not the time come, my dear brothers and sisters, for our hearts to become soft at the remembrance of Allah and at the Quran and at hearing about Allah and His Messenger? Has the time not come that our hearts turn to Allah and that we become better Muslims? My dear brothers and sisters, how many khutbahs will it take? How many lectures must you be told? Don't you understand? Don't I understand? If I don't change now, if you don't change now, this is a plot from shaitan never to change. There is no tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Every day has another tomorrow. And the time will come when for you and me, there will be a day where there will be no tomorrow. If we keep on saying, tomorrow I'll start praying, tomorrow I'll be a better Muslim, this tomorrow will never arrive. My dear brothers and sisters, what do you need to convince us? What do we need to convince us? Don't you see what's happening in the Muslim Ummah? Are we blind to the reality of what is going on around us? Do you not notice that the majority of affairs that are occurring deal with us? Look at the news. 80% of the news deals with our ummah and what is happening to it. Has it ever occurred to us? Why? Why? Are we not believers of Allah? Are we not worshippers of Allah? Or are we? Or are we really and truly believers and worshippers of Allah? Allah says in the Quran that izzah, honor and glory and power will always belong to Allah and to His Messenger and to the believers, the mu'minun. Therefore, it is not possible that the real mu'minun will ever be humiliated. It is not possible, my dear brothers and sisters, that permanently the situation will always be in our disfavor. Therefore, there is something wrong. We are not doing our job. We are not reaching the level of iman that is required of us. And that is why we have not reached the level of izzah and honor and glory that is promised to us as well. How can we ask Allah to do His part of the contract when we don't do our part? How can we ask Allah for help when we don't deserve that help? Do we not realize that this is a wake-up call for us? What is happening in the Muslim Ummah, Allah is doing it for our sake. Allah says in the Quran, مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إِن شَكَرْتُمْ وَآمَنْتُمْ. What will Allah gain? What will Allah gain by punishing you? If you believe and are thankful to Him. If, this is the if. What will Allah gain? But if you are thankful and have iman. In other words, if you don't have iman or you are not thankful, then Allah Azza wa Jal must show you the reality. My dear brothers and sisters, we simply don't have the luxury of living a carefree life. In fact, we never have such a luxury, no matter what the ummah is going through. But especially now, especially at this time, we simply can't be selfish. We can't think of my dunya, my money, my wealth. No, we must think of the ummah. Each and every one of us is responsible to do what we can for the ummah. It is my duty and your duty to be better Muslims, and that is the best way to revive the izzah that this ummah needs. That is the best way to get to the position that Allah has promised us. O Muslims, ponder over this reality. Reflect over it. For the sake of your family and friends, for the sake of this Muslim ummah, for the sake of your dunya and akhirah, for the sake of your jannah and nar, for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, each and every one of us has to change. Each and every one of us must set goals to better himself. Now, not tomorrow. At this point in time, because there is no tomorrow.
I pray that all of us in this audience, we take responsibility for what we do in our family. If I say we have to change ourselves as an ummah, you walk away with no responsibility. Yes, ummah, I don't know where that is. You have to take responsibility for what's happening in your family. For what's happening in your family. Your family is your government. And when there's corruption, there's a corrupt government in your house. That's where you have to change things. If your family doesn't change, don't talk about changing the world. If you personally haven't changed, don't talk about changing the world. You're kidding yourself. You're deluding yourself. How is it that you're saying you love the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the way you treat your wife has nothing to do with how the Prophet treated Ummahatul Mu'mineen? How is it that you say you love the sunnah of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam? You want to study the entire Bukhari and the entire Muslim, and you want to learn all the knowledge in the world, but the way you talk to your kids, you have no rahmah when you deal with your children, the way the Messenger had rahmah when he dealt with kids. What are you learning this for? Why are you learning it? How come it doesn't affect how you deal with your family? How come it doesn't affect how you deal with a fellow Muslim at the masjid? How come it doesn't affect the way you drive your car? There's a guy driving this way, this guy's driving that way, they're looking at each other, both got beards, so they're clearly Muslim. And they're playing a game of chicken, like who's gonna blink? You know? And you say, could you please give me a second? And you say, yeah, I'll give you a second. What happened to the يُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ? They give preference to others over themselves. This is easy, guys, this is easy. Allah is not asking us for big things. Small changes in our family life, in our personal life, in our mannerisms with others. I come to the Muslim world, first thing I notice, lack of courtesy. It's the first thing I notice. Lack of courtesy. I'm standing at it didn't happen here, but I wouldn't be surprised. It could happen anywhere. I'm standing in a Muslim country in a hotel, right, I'm about to check in. Somebody else walks in, cuts the line, Habibi, ma'lish. This will never happen in Australia, this will never happen in England, this will never happen in America, this will never happen, it'll happen in the Muslim world. It'll happen here. And just a simple gesture of courtesy to your fellow human being. If we can't even do that, how are we talking about the sunnah of the most respectful, the most noble human being that ever lived? What kind of example are we? The non-Muslims who live in this country, and there are lots of them. What example do they see of the Muslims? What have they seen from the Muslims? Think about that for yourself. What kind of behavior do they observe? When they see the behavior of the Muslims, does it make them want to be Muslim? Does it make them want to say, these people are so kind, so courteous, so patient, so respectful, so controlling of their tongue, so controlling of their eyes. They have so much love in their families. Man, what do they have? Oh, they have this thing called the sunnah of their messenger. Well, I want some of that. Can I have that? Yeah, you got to be Muslim. Or what do we show them? Well, we show them, subhanallah. I'm embarrassed to say, guys. I'm just embarrassed to say. We have to raise the status, our character. It has to rise. It has to rise. The young people in this audience, listen, I'm going to be as straightforward as I can be. Even if it gets me like in trouble. I'll just say it as clearly as I can see it. You have a problem. The Muslim youth have a problem. They're obsessed with brands. They're obsessed with labels. They'll go into the ultimate goal in your life is going to hang out in the mall. What is wrong with you? Life is a lot bigger than the mall. And what brand you have to carry the bag, like the brand bag. Even if you don't shop from there, you shop from there once, but you take the bag with you every time to the mall to let people know that you got your socks inside or something. Because you need to feel like, and if you bought a watch, you keep doing. Is this what we've reduced ourselves to? Is this what brings you nobility? Is this what brings you respect? Is this what makes you worth something? Pieces of plastic, cloth, metal, rocks. That's what they are. It's stuff. It's stuff. It'll go. The thing that gives you respect is your Islam, is your messenger. The thing that gives you nobility is the book of Allah. What do you know about that? How much of that are you carrying? I know you're wearing a lot of brands. Let's start wearing this deen a little bit. Let's start wearing that. So people that's a brand people want to see. They haven't seen it yet. They have to see that.